Hello, this is Dalen75 Games. Welcome back to the Dragon Age Inquisition prequel. This is the list of choices that I've made in Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 that lead up to Dragon Age Inquisition. It's all done on Dragon Age Keep. It's currently in the beta phase. You have to log in with your Origins account, and it's called the Dragon Age Tapestry, and we'll be getting to that in a moment. I just need to log in with all my credentials, and I don't need to show you guys that. Alright, this is the Dragon Age Keep Tapestry. It's vitally important if you want your previous decisions to have any bearing on Dragon Age Inquisition. Otherwise, you're stuck with the default world, which is very dry and boring. For instance, you will have no love relationships with any of your companions as in Dragon Age Origins or in Dragon Age 2. So you have to forgive me, I feel pretty horrible at the moment. I've been sick off and on all month. This has been a very terrible month for any of my videos and my channel. I haven't been able to do much of anything besides do a handful of Dragon Age videos. Okay, let's start with this. This is my hero, Dragon Age Origins. Of course, I already told you what I did with my character. His name was Aiden Kuzlin, but no picture was uploaded to EA or BioWare Social. So I did go with another character that had the same exact look. His name is Galadron. It is not Aiden. However, you will not ever hear those names in the game. All these decisions and all these choices and the people you choose as your hero will all have some kind of effect in Dragon Age Inquisition, as far as I know. So he'll be referred to as a warden. So it's not a big deal whatever his name is. He'll look the same. And the warden is alive and well. Of course, he lived through Origins. So each one of these is a different set of choices, not just one. There's several in each. And we can go through, like this is Origins right here, and you see this right here is Awakening expansion. Here's the DLCs for Origin. Here's Dragon Age 2. Here's the DLC, Legacy. Now, Mark of the Assassin, there's two choices. It's in here somewhere. I think it's with the companions for Dragon Age 2. So let's go back to the beginning. Well, let's go here to companions. I romanced Liliana. I recruited a dog. Now, it's kind of confusing about this choice because when you start as a human noble, you get a dog, the Mabari, automatically. If you don't, then I don't... Either you had to download a DLC or you had to make friends with the dog somehow. So to do that, you need to save the dog, which is a sick Mabari hound in the Ostagar camp. You need to go out. When you go out into the Kokari wilds, you need to pick up that plant, that flower, to bring back and save the sick Mabari. And then he is your companion. You'll meet up with him or her after Ostagar on your way to Lothering, I believe. Now, let's go to the prologue. Oh, sorry. There had been more for companions than that. Okay, yeah. So, recruited dog. Logain was killed by Alistair in a duel. And a very long, lengthy duel in which he had to take many healing potions. Persuaded Revere Mother to free Sten and recruited Sten. And, yeah, took him out of his cage. Returned Sten's sword in the end. We recruited Oghren in Orzammar before we went into the Deep Roads. We recruited Zevran, and Zevran is alive and well. Ironically, it's only the last few playthroughs. I mean, I finished the game like probably 5-6 times. It's only the last few playthroughs that I actually keep him alive, and because the first time I played through the game, like back within a few weeks of the game launching in 2009, Zevran turned on me in Denerim with his when we ran into his allies, the Antivan Crows, and turned against me, and I was forced to kill him. So for the next few playthroughs that I did after that, I actually killed him as soon as his failed assassination took place. You can do it right there. Okay, so we recruited Wynn. Wynn is alive and well. Somehow you can have her die, I guess in the Circle Tower. Alistair became king. Warden and Alistair were not lovers, no, because we're both heterosexual. Wouldn't have worked out. Liliana is alive and well. Morgan had an old god baby with the warden. Yes we did. You know, it's funny with Liliana though. You can kill Liliana after poisoning the urn. Unwilling to let the warden profane the urn of sacred ashes, Liliana was left to die in the heart of the temple. How the heck would that play out with the rest of, like, she's in Dragon Age 2. She's also has a pretty big role in Dragon Age Inquisition, so if you killed her, I don't know how that would work. Unless somehow being in the near the Urn of Sacred Ashes, she was revived somehow. It's the only thing I can think of. So yeah, we had a old baby god, god baby with the warden. It was the soul of the archdemon, which is what the old gods were. That Tevinter Imperium used to like worship the old gods, and they were dragons. Back before Andraste did her fateful march into the Empire and brought it down. Okay, so acquired Grimoire by defeating Flemeth. Yes, we helped out Morgan by doing that. Now let's go to the prologue. Ostagar prisoner left alone, the nameless prisoner. I did leave him in his cage, and I came back when we returned to Ostagar and found his corpse. And I got the keys to open up the chest, the tranquil chest, or the mage's chest. Cured Mabari Hound. Yes, we also did that, so somehow Hound got loose, and even though we had our own, maybe one is enough. Okay, so Urn not poisoned. I don't even know how you would do that, actually. What choices was not defiled. And the Sacred Ashes. That's the only choice there. So, what is this? This is the RL Redcliffe. We have helped Redcliffe fight. Yes, we did help them when we got there, when they were overrun by the demons from Connor summoning in that Desire Demon. We helped Redcliffe prepare for it. This should probably be before this one. Connor alive, not possessed. We went to great lengths to save Connor and not have anybody die besides the demons that were in our realm. Okay, so we freed Bevan and paid for his sword. Bevan's sister was in the chantry in Redcliffe Village, and she was very terrified that her brother was lost or dead. So we went looking for him, found him in a nearby home, and he was trying to get his father or his grandpa's sword. We took the sword and him, told him to go back, and he went back to his sister, and we paid the sister for the sword so she could, because they were orphans basically, so they can have a go wherever they want and start a new life. I think they had relatives in Denerim that they were planning to go see. Helped Owen's daughter escape. Yes, Owen was trapped in Redcliffe Castle. He was the blacksmith. This is his daughter. We made sure she got out alive. Isolde is alive. We did not kill Isolde to try to go in and save Connor through blood magic. Isolde is Arl Eamon's wife. Bella took tavern ownership. Now this is a bit of a weird thing, because I told Bella she was the serving woman, aka wench, in the tavern in Redcliffe Village, and I told her to go serve like the Arl, be one of the servants there. She'd have a better life than serving that pig of a barkeep. But there's no option for that. There's the option to have her leave Redcliffe, take tavern ownership. Bella left to start a brewery, and Bella died in Redcliffe. So she never mentioned anything about a brewery. She didn't die. She didn't leave. So the only thing I can think of, the best answer is she took over tavern ownership, and I think that's the best thing to have happened for her. So I went with that choice, and that's everything for this one. Now let's go down here. Nature of the Beast with the Dalish elves in the Brazilian forest. I brokered a peace between the elves, the Dalish, and the werewolves. I brought Kamen and Gaina together. Now it's funny how these such small choices actually, there's different ones you can choose. How they have an effect on Inquisition, I have no idea. But you could have broken them up. Didn't encounter them at all, but I actually went and brought them together. So saved the Halla. There was a sick Halla. Very, very small quest. I don't know how it's going to affect Inquisition. Interesting, though. I told Athras about his wife's fate. His wife had fully turned into a werewolf in the Brazilian forest. I did kill her at her request. She was suffering a lot, and she gave me the scarf, which I actually used to try to get items out of that mad mage that was apostate mage that was in the Brazilian forest. So I just came back and I told him about his wife's fate. He believed me. He gave me some kind of piece of jewelry. I brought Verathorn Ironbark. Verathorn is their smith in the Dalish camp in the Brazilian forest. I brought him some Ironbark. I don't think that that's the only Dalish tribe there. I think that there's other ones. Clan, that's what they call them. I don't think that's the only clan. I think there are other clans in the Brazilian forest. from the way that it sounded. Okay, so return Dagon to the Dalish camp. He was the injured elf that we found in the Brazilian forest. He hardly said a word besides a grunt. He was very injured. I'm not sure what attacked him. But he was not bitten. I think he had claw marks on him maybe, but he was not bitten. So Paragon of her kind, this is through Orzammar and the Deep Roads. We defeated Branka and sided with Caradon. Destroyed the Anvil of the Void. He made me a crown before he died. And Haramont rules Orzammar. We chose Lord Haramont over Prince Balin. Kildbruck said he died heroically. His mother was asking for where he had gone, if we could find him. And when we go into the Deep Roads, we did. We found him. He was very messed up because, what do they call them? Scavengers. The only thing they have to eat are darkspawn and whatever else. I think there's also Deep Road mushrooms and perhaps spiders if he wanted those. Yeah, so he attacked us when I asked him questions about gems nearby or gems that he had, and he actually started attacking us. I didn't want to, because he actually is very helpful. He could have been our vendor for that area. We wouldn't have had to return to Orzammar. Okay, so Dagna left to study. She was the female dwarf that wanted to leave Orzammar to go study the Circumage Tower in defiance of her father's wishes. We helped her out, and she left. Didn't encounter Marty. Now this I think has to do if you play as a noble, dwarf noble. I'm not sure if it can be castless and or noble, but I'm just going to go with noble because I've never played it through to this extent. But I didn't encounter Marty. I don't know who she is. Didn't have relations with Marty, and had relations with Marty. No, so we didn't encounter her, but it goes even further than that because you didn't have son with Marty. Apparently you can have a son with Marty. Didn't restore Marty's son's birthright. Restored Marty's son's birthright. Didn't encounter Marty's son. So, yeah, it goes somewhat deep. I didn't even know you can have a child in Origins. Very interesting. Okay, proved Legion of the Dead connected the Noble House. They were sort of a house of their own, but they were not officially recognized as one. Hopefully this will help them out. And returned tome to Shaperate. There was a stolen tome that some castles thug had stolen, and we returned it. Helped Burko create the Chantry. He was a dwarf. He was part of the Chantry, just like a priest, and he was trying to create his own Chantry church, excuse me, inside of Orzammar. We helped him out and got permission for him to start his Chantry. Then Zerlinda taken in by Burkel's Chantry. She was the poor... she wasn't castless. I'm not sure what caste she had come from, but she had married a castless man and had a son, which means the son would end up being castless. Her father or her parents had told her she needs to leave the son in the Deep Roads to die, and so before they'll accept her back. So I think that's pretty horrible. She was sitting on the side of the road. She had nothing to eat. Her son had nothing to eat. She had nowhere to go. She was castless. No money at all. So I told her to go to Burkel's Chantry. He was there to help people in a situation like that. So it was pretty awful situation, and hopefully things turned out a bit better for her. Helped Orda join the assembly. She was a dwarf who had no house, even though I'm not sure what caste she came from. I don't think she was castless. But her house had been in Orten Tag, which was overrun centuries before in the Deep Roads, and we helped her out with that. Got the documents to bring back to say that she was an actual house and her ancestors belonged to it. So she was recognized and she became a noble and got a lot of money. A lot of other houses owed her money. Approved Legion of the Dead. Okay, we already did that. Return Tome the Shape Rate. We already did that. Completed Rojek's Lyrium deal. Now, I made a lot of money off that. He was castless in Dust Town. He had a deal going with I forget his name. I feel so horrible. I don't even want to try to think about his name. Some guy that was hiding in a closet in the Circle Tower. He's a mage. So they had a deal going where he was making decent coin out of that, and because it's illegal, but because of the situation, because of the state of Ferelden at the time, we needed money to help us with our war efforts to defeat the Blight and take Loghain down. So I did it. I wouldn't have done it under normal circumstances, but I had no income, I had no house, I had nothing besides what I carried with me. I was actually supposed to be, I wasn't illegal, just being a Grey Warden in Ferelden, so yeah, didn't really care about laws to that extent. Broken Circle. Mages supported. We fought to make sure all the mages that we could rescue were rescued and came out alive, and First Enchanter Irving survived the battle. Did not agree with Cullen's request. He believed everybody in the top tower was possessed by blood mages, and you couldn't really tell who was a blood mage and who wasn't. So, yeah, I didn't go with what he had to say. Cullen is also in Dragon Age 2, especially in the last act, and he's a big role in Dragon Age Inquisition as well. I think he's calmed down a bit since then. He wanted every mage to be killed. He had been tortured for days, I think, so... So let's go to Denerim now. Sir Landry alive. He was one of the people down the dungeons, and we freed him, I believe. Told Ban Sighart about Oswin, another person that was in the dungeons we kind of freed. Didn't complete Slim Coldry's crime wave. No, we're not a rogue. I'm not going to get into that crime wave stuff. Give Elfstana Imnuric's ring. I think this is her brother was Templar, and he was in the dungeons, and he was pretty incoherent. Yeah, so I told her about him, and she went off to save him. Well, I don't think anyone was left to stop her anyways. I killed basically all the guards. Return... Okay, I can't even read that. Return amulet to the beggar. Now, this was a Dalish elf that was sitting at the side of the road, and right in front of the old Dalish orphanage. Had a horrible history. A lot of people came in there, and there's slaughtering of people and children and families. It was just awful. And there was a lot, like the veil was very thin. Unfortunately, I did not get that quest in the video. I had it done, like I recorded it, but somehow it got lost, and it was never put up on my channel. Otherwise, I would have had 141 videos for, yeah, for the main campaign of Dragon Age Origins. Helped Alistair find Goldana. Yeah, this is his sister. She was a bit of, she's kind of a, I don't know. She wasn't very nice or polite. She was very poor. I like to blame everybody for her situation, especially her brother, even though by being born, he basically wronged her. It wasn't a very good situation. I hope everything worked out for the best between them, because he's king now, and he said he was going to help her. Brought scroll to Sister Justine. Yes, it was one of the scrolls that we found on the way to the Urn of the Sacred Ashes in the big ruined temple full of ice and snow. Yeah, it was ancient, going back to the days of Andraste. Helped clear customers out of the Pearl. Yes, the Pearl was full of rowdy mercenaries. We cleared them out. Handled the Crimson Ores, same thing. Kind of, there was, I don't know what's with the slit throat, because we sent them out peacefully. Didn't handle the Crimson Ores. No, we sent them out peacefully, but there was no fight. Let's see, what does that say? Because it gives another description. The ores were dealt with much to the Inquisitor's relief. No. I could have fought them and killed them, but I sent them out peacefully. Didn't complete Master Ignacio's assassinations. No, we are not assassins. Sent Marjolaine away. In all my other playthroughs, I had killed Marjolaine, but this time I sent her away. I'm not sure how it's going to impact Liliana and Dragon Age Origins. Should be interesting, though. Okay, the Landsmeet. Alistair, half-brother to King Cailan, stepped up to become the new king of Ferelden, continuing a long line of kings from his bloodline. Yes, Alistair rules. That's the only choice, really. Well, no, I mean, you can do these other things. Alistair and Honora rule. I've done that once. Alistair and the Warden rule. I've also done that a couple times as playing as female. You have to be a human noble to do that, I believe. Maybe not. If you harden him, you could get him to accept you, I think, no matter what race you are. Or even as a mage. Honora rules, never done that. I don't quite like Honora. Honora and the Warden rule. I was going to do this for my Let's Roleplay, but the problem was that she was not going to accept me as the king. She was going to give me like a Prince Regent type title, and she would basically, what it told me is she just wanted to dominate everything, and I was just lucky to be there, and I wasn't going to stand for that. I have more royal blood in me than she does. My ancestors have gone back hundreds of years, where she was just, through her father, she was just named as a noble, and then she became queen. Excuse me. The Battle of Denerim. The Warden killed the Archdemon. Alistair killed the Archdemon. Logain killed the Archdemon. Interesting, because you can recruit Logain in the party, but Alistair will leave. And I think he becomes a drunkard. He said he'll never be king if Logain joins the party. But yes, the Warden killed and survived the fight. You can actually... Oh, yeah, because it doesn't give the choice of whether the Warden died there. But yeah, the Warden can die if you don't go through that ritual with Morrigan. So, into the Awakening expansion. Warden allowed the architect to live. Kind of sided with him at the end against the mother. Amaranthine protected. Now, it's weird because you can choose the keep or Amaranthine, right? And I went with choosing Amaranthine, where most people are. However, there's a third choice here. Keep and Amaranthine protected. Now, I don't know how you do that, but I think at some point while you're trying to save Amaranthine from the Darkspawn, you can actually stop and go back to the keep. So it's possible to save both. I've never done it before. I've only done that DLC twice. But, yeah. Well, I just, in the selects, both times, I just went through and saved Amaranthine. Now, Warden's Keep DLC. Did not drink the concoction. It had the taint in it, so it really goes against... I mean, Aiden already took in some taint to become a Grey Warden, but he wasn't going to continue that even further, especially with something that was experimental. I slayed Sophia and allowed Avernus to do his ethical research, and that stayed like that. Stone Prisoner DLC with Shale. Shale is alive and well. Apparently Shale is still out. She was traveling around with Wynn. She was in partially... Wynn was in the book Asunder that just came out. I think, was it 2012 or 2013? Sure when. But Matthias and Amala are both alive, neither possessed. And it's the girl that had the demon kitty that wanted to take her over, and this is the father. Shale is recruited. And yeah, Shale's running around loose out there, trying to help the mages. I'm not sure if Shale will be in Inquisition. I just thought of that, actually. It'd be funny to run into Shale. I'm not sure how many people we're actually going to run into in Inquisition. Okay, so the last one will be the Witch Hunt DLC. Really, there's only 3 choices. Stabbed Morrigan. Went through the Alluvian. Didn't go through the Alluvian. We did not do the other 2, so we just... yeah, we just went and said hi to her, basically, and talked to her for a minute, and that was it. After all that search for Morrigan. She was the mother of Aiden's child, so apparently she had the child, but she didn't have it with her. And Aiden did not get to see his... I think it's his son. They had a son together, did they not? Okay, so now we are into Dragon Age 2. The hero will look exactly and the same as in my Let's Roleplay, and has the same name, Marion. I'd be kind of neat if she shows up with the same armor that I left her in too. Yeah. Unfortunately, one thing I didn't do, it's already done for Inquisition, is to make the choices. What was Hawke's personality? Typically, it was humorous for the most part, and then the next one would have been diplomatic. But I left it at, I mean, this is the default one, diplomatic, and of course there's aggressive. But more often than not, she did choose humorous over the course of the game. Okay, companions. Romanced Fenris. Bethany died in the Deep Roads, unfortunately. Carver died leaving Lotharin. Probably on the 3rd or 4th video, actually. Bethany did not live to see the Mage Templar War. Probably a good thing. Friends with Varric. We were very good friends. Still are, I believe. Bartran killed. Bartran is Varric's brother. We went, and when he returned, I don't know, took off for a few years and then returned to Kirkwall, and we found him in his estate, killed him. He had gone completely insane and had tortured and killed many people within his estate. And Varric didn't want him to live. And first I was against it because it's, killing your own brother. But, he had a good point. How many people has he killed? How many people will he keep killing? So, helped Varric discover the cause of the haunting. A few years later, somebody else had bought the estate, Bartran's estate, and he had left a piece of the idol which had driven him mad in the estate. The idol was very, very powerful, and it had made the estate seem like it was haunted. So we went in there and solved that and found a small red lyrium idol. So Varric wanted to keep it at first, but I convinced him not to. I actually took it to Sandal, and he destroyed it. Okay, so recruited Isabella. Isabella returned to Hawke. Didn't give Isabella to Arishok. I became very good friends with Isabella. We're very like-minded. Well, her morals are a little more flexible than mine. But other than that, yeah. I didn't want her to give her up to the Arishok, who would have taken her home and executed her. Fenris is alive and well. Yes, my love, Marion's love, is alive and well. Merrill stayed with Hawke. Yep, very good friends. And Merrill is alive and well, too. Didn't approve of Anders' actions at the Chantry, of course not. Aveline married Donick. Yes, Aveline was actually my best friend. Very happy that she found love, especially after losing her first husband. Anders was executed by my own hand after what he did to the Chantry. Evelyn stayed with Hawk. Merrill destroyed the Luvian at the end, and Merrill's clan was killed. It's horrible, horrible. What other choices are there here? Merrill's clan was not killed. Merrill's clan was killed. Very simple. Okay, so that's it for the companions. Prologue. You have only two choices: join smugglers or join mercenaries. We went with the smugglers. It was, to me, it seemed like the easier, especially considering that Marion's a rogue, so it was only fitting. So let's go down to Act 1. Fought against the Templars. This confused me at first, but this is near the end of the act, or at least it was for me, when the Templars had cornered a few mages that were running away from Starcave and the apostate. Some of them were blood mages. We went and cleared out the blood mages and convinced a few of the apostates to come with us willingly back to the circle. When we got out there, we ran into a very, I was going to say, devout Templar who wanted to basically kill them. And we fought against him because we'd given the mages their word that they'd be safe. Okay, so we killed the Templars there, and that's where Thrask basically became a good ally of ours. Returned the cargo to Martin. Martin was in, what is that place? Hangman Inn, Hangman Pub, whatever it's called. And he had his room there. He was selling, he was a vendor basically, but it had you go and find these poisons for him that some mercenary group or whatever smugglers had stolen from him. Keldar was killed. I do not know who Keldar is. Hawk ended Keldar's life, likely saving the lives of others. Oh, yes, he was the abomination that the magistrate... Well, he didn't tell us he's an abomination, just as an escaped prisoner. And he was killing elven children, so we went and made sure he died. His father wanted him to be returned, so we didn't go with that. Justice had to be done. Especially for an abomination killing children. It's horrible. Returned Seamus to the Viscount. The Viscount's son is Seamus. He was held out by this woman here, Guinness. She was part of the Winters. She looks just like this, her shape. With the Winters mercenary group, and she was a bit of a bitch. So she wanted to cut out Seamus' tongue just for speaking bad to her about killing his best friend. Killed Danzig. Danzig was a slaver who was in Darktown. Didn't tell, he was a bit of an asshole. Didn't tell the truth about Ghislaine's wife's death. Yeah, we just told her, she had died, and we found the ring. And, okay, solved the mystery of missing miners. Yes, it was a dragon problem out in the Bone Pit. Didn't blackmail Sir Thrask. He had a daughter who was an apostate. I believe she was an apostate. Sent Fenrir out to the Dalish. He was the troubled mage who had trouble. I think he was apostate. His family was keeping him secret, and yeah, but he had trouble with the demons that kept on trying to get through to him and control him. So Idunna is alive and well. I guess she survived the entire game. She was in the Blooming Rose. She was trying to control the Templars who had come to see her through blood magic. She had been taught a bit of blood magic, and she could control people's minds with it. Tempting to kill her, but we had her survive, and she actually helped us out in the end. Thanks to Merrill stopping her from casting a spell. But she was gonna have me slit my own throat. Karen reinstated with the Templars. He was a Templar who was taken over, I think, by Idunna, and the Blood Mages had taken him, and they were trying to basically have a bunch of Templars go undercover and subvert the Templars from within. So we defended Katojan from the Canary. He was the mage that was caught by Sister Patrine. Is a Canary mage, and without his handler. So when we actually met up with a group of Canary, they had to kill him. That was the rule. They didn't know if he'd been... No mage is allowed to go free, because you don't know if they're compromised by demons or not. So, but we tried to save him, but it was his will that he died. He said he wanted to follow the Qun. He wanted to live, but to follow the Qun, you have to die. So, unfortunately, he ended his own life. Kind of sad. Karas was killed. Karas. Oh, he was the Templar who wanted to kill all the mages that were cornered that we had told were going to be free if they came back to the circle. Okay, so Act 2. Did not kill Gasgard. He was the... I don't know if he was a blood mage. He was an apostate, though. It seemed like he was the killer that was in Kirkwall, but he was not. He was trying to get the killer. I think the killer had killed his sister. Discovered looter of Hubert's caravans. Yeah, he was a man from Denerim. Oh, sorry, not Denerim, Lothering, but apparently knew me. Hubert's caravans. Remember, I worked with Hubert, and it was like 50-50 split. We were partners for the Bone Pit. Apparently, the caravans were being raided and attacked, and it was somebody that knew me and what have you. Did not encounter Yevon. Well, this is the only choice that I have. I did this again. Okay, so I have to go back here to Awakening Expansion because, yeah, I didn't talk about these two things. Nathaniel is alive and well, as opposed to being dead, I suppose. We became friends. He realized his father, Rendenhal, was a bastard. His father had killed my family, basically, except for my brother. Algren and Felsi parted on bad terms. I tried to make things work. Did not work out, so... Yeah, but Nathaniel's apparently in Act... Is it Act 2? Yeah. Or Act 3. But, see, the thing is, with this, I don't know what Nathaniel has to do with Yevon. Yevon was the dwarf who had 3 sons, and they had gone into the deep roads. He wanted me to go after them. They went into the deep roads because apparently they heard of my stories and my adventures down there, the wealth that I brought back. So, you have the choice to save Ivan. He was the one that wanted to ditch his brothers for the sword. Basically, he didn't care about his brothers. And save Marin, which is what we did, but you cannot choose the answer. Because then it has something to do with Nathaniel being alive and well, or Nathaniel dying. I have no idea what the heck that has to do. But let's try this again. Did Hawk finally rescue Nathaniel from the deep roads? Oh. Did not. Original choice. I don't know. We did not encounter Nathaniel, so I'm just going to go with the encounter. Javaris, alive and well. Javaris was the guy who wanted the black powder, and he had, in Act 1, he tried to help him out, but he was denied. In Act 2, he actually had stolen it. Some elf that he was working with. And the elf took the recipe, and it was actually poison. She wanted to kill lots of people and try to start a war against the Canary. It was kind of crazy, but we left Javaris alive when we encountered him. Did not sign with Varnell against the Canary. This is when the Canary envoy was taken from the Viscount's Keep, and they were all executed in front of me. All their throats were slit. Yeah, it's kind of awful, and it was, Petrine was behind it, or Patrice. Why do I keep calling her Petrine? Sister Patrice. I think she became mother at the end. She was killed by a Canary, and she was behind a lot of the attempts to destroy relations between the Chantry, the city, and the Canary. She won war with the Canary. Attack the raiders without help of the guards. Yes, in the Wounded Coast there was a group of guards that were under siege. Well, they were fighting a bunch of raiders, and we just told them to stay still. We'll take care of them. We did. No one else had to lose their lives except for the raiders. Fainrail made tranquil. We tried to save Fainrail. Went to the Fade. He begged me to make him tranquil, and the way to do that is to kill him in the Fade. He's not dead. He's just tranquil in real life. So. Kind of a sad ending, not the worst that could happen, but sad enough as it is. And at the very end of the act, we got into a duel with the Arishok and killed him because he wanted to take Isabella away back to the Canary Lands to execute her. We would not have that because she's our good friend. Now, Act 3, Hawk offered to help Nuncio. This was the Antivan Crow group that wanted to hunt down what it turned out to be Zevran, funny enough. Yeah, and then when we encountered Zevran, we had talked to him. We went and actually joined with him and killed the crows that were after him. Okay, so we did not encounter Nathaniel. No. Considering this is an Act 3, it's kind of odd, but no. Reunited Sharad, I think it's Sharad, with Gamlin. So Gamlin's my uncle, Sharad is my cousin. And my uncle Gamlin did not even know she existed. That's his daughter. Sided with the Templars. Yes, at the end we did side with the Templars with Meredith over the mages. Handed conspirators to Meredith. We were working. You have the choice of working with Orsino or Meredith. We were working with Meredith throughout the act. Return Emil to the Circle. He was the apostate or legion. We talked him into returning to the Circle. He wanted to run away and because he thought he'd get some women. Gave Kiran to the Templars. I don't really remember in Act 3 this happening. Killed Kiran. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he was with them. Killed dragon in the bone pit. Yeah, it was a big epic battle. Huge. Went on for quite a while, like the whole video, pretty much. And the only thing that's left is Legacy DLC. We sided with the Lorias, and we found Malcolm's will. My father is Malcolm Hawk. Well, I have to click on that to kind of... So right here. Okay, Malcolm had left traces of his legacy behind in that ancient prison, unaware his child would one day follow in his footsteps, as opposed to not uncovering her father's legacy. Yeah. So, yeah, we did uncover it. We found out all about my dad in the end. And the last thing... There's actually nothing left. Feature coming soon for Dragon Age Inquisition. I guess... I'm not sure what this would have to do. I mean, are they going to keep this going? Is there going to be a Dragon Age 4? I don't know. Interesting. But anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. The entire video has been inspired by Josh Welt. He had... recommended I do one of these for all the choices in the tapestry that led up to Dragon Age Inquisition. So thanks a lot, and I'm going to end the video here, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.